Tonight I invite you to close your eyes and drift back in time to a place long buried in earth and secrecy, a town that once existed in the shadows of the Appalachian Mountains, now absent from every map, a town whose history was erased, whose name is spoken only in a whisper. This is the story of Ravenshollow, not a ghost story, not folklore, but a record, a forgotten truth, all documented in a leather-bound diary, its pages soaked in fear and something darker. This is a tale of ambition, madness, and the price of unearthing what should never be found. Let the story begin. Chapter 1. The Town That Should Not Be. It was the spring of 1871 when Silas Abernathy, a wealthy industrialist from New York, arrived in West Virginia with his entourage. He claimed to have discovered something extraordinary, a rare mineral buried deep beneath the mountain soil. He called it nightstone, a glossy black rock that shimmered under moonlight and emitted faint heat when held. Within months a mining settlement rose from nothing. Ravenshollow. Tents became homes. Homes became streets, a chapel, a schoolhouse, a clock tower that never struck midnight. Over 1,000 people arrived, drawn by the promise of work, wealth, and something unspoken. The town grew unnaturally fast. Rail lines appeared where no tracks had been laid. Supplies arrived with no record of purchase, and yet no one questioned it, not even the reverend. The miners toiled day and night, extracting nightstone in silence, but soon silence gave way to whispers. The first incident was small. A boy disappeared from the schoolyard. The next day he was found standing in the center of the mine's entrance, eyes rolled white, muttering in Latin. No one taught Latin in Ravenshollow. Then came the dreams. Entire households reported waking at the same hour, 3:33 a.m., drenched in sweat. They all heard the same thing, a deep voice echoing underground, saying one word, "Return." One by one, the miners changed. They stared too long into the nightstone. They stopped sleeping, stopped eating, and then they started vanishing. 7 in the first month. Their tools left in place, their boots by the beds. No blood, no sign of struggle, just gone. The chapel bells began ringing on their own, always at nightfall, and the cross above the altar turned upside down overnight. The priest? Found in the basement, writing the Lord's Prayer backward on the walls. He had no memory of doing so. By October, the first fire consumed half the western housing block. The flames were blue. They made no sound. Witnesses claimed they saw shapes in the smoke, figures without faces watching. And through it all, Silas Abernathy smiled. He said the town was evolving. Chapter 2. The Black Diary. 60 years later, in 1933, a reclusive historian named Elias Harper uncovered a diary hidden behind the walls of an abandoned farmhouse near the Virginia border. It belonged to Agatha Bell, the schoolteacher of Ravenshollow. The first entries were ordinary, lessons, names of students, anecdotes of town life. But then the tone changed. She wrote of the children drawing the same spiral symbol in their notebooks, of students who spoke in voices too deep for their age. One child said she was being followed by a tall man made of coal. Agatha began to keep her own record of the town's descent. She described waking to find muddy footprints on her floor, leading from her door to her bedside, then disappearing. She noted how the townsfolk began gathering at the mine entrance every Sunday, abandoning the chapel. "They call it the new church," she wrote. "They chant in a tongue I do not recognize. Silas leads them. He carries a book made of skin." She mentions a woman named Miriam who tore out her own eyes and claimed she saw the sleeper beneath the stone. On October 31st, Agatha wrote her longest entry. "The air is wrong. The town no longer sleeps. The miners do not blink. The children hum hymns in reverse. Something is coming. Last night I saw them. Not people. Not any more tall, thin. Mouths stitched shut. They walked through the walls. They whispered without sound." Her final entry is dated November 3rd, 1872. It ends mid-sentence. "There at my due, ____. Chapter 3, The Vanishing. Ravenshollow officially ceased to exist on November 4th, 1872. Government records list it as lost to fire, but no fire ever reached that far. The Pinkertons, hired mercenaries disguised as lawmen, were dispatched. They never returned. A year later, surveyors found the site. Or what should have been the site. There were no buildings, no tracks, no mine, just a depression in the earth, ringed by dead trees. At the center, a black stone spiral, 30 feet wide. It pulsed. The surveyors reported headaches, hallucinations, and time loss. Their instruments failed. Their compass spun. 2 weeks later, all 4 men were dead. 1 drowned in his well. 1 walked into a river and never surfaced. The 3rd tore out his eyes, like Miriam, and disappeared into the woods. The last man left a note. The town is not gone. It is sleeping. It is waiting to be found. For the next half-century, Ravenshollow became a story told in code. Old miners refused to speak its name. Locals called it the Hollow. Cartographers were warned not to chart the region. And the Nightstone? Banned, sealed, forgotten. Chapter 4, The Return. In 1974, a journalist named Clara Winslow received a letter. No return address. Inside, a map. It led her to a mountain road, long abandoned, deep in West Virginia. She followed it for hours. Her radio static. Her compass stopped. And then, a shack, a single light flickering. Inside, a dusty trunk. Within the trunk, the original black diary of Agatha Bell. But it had more pages now, newer ones, dated in the 1950s, the 60s, even one from 1973, written in Clara's handwriting. She never wrote it. Her tape recorder captured her final words. "The ground is humming. I hear whispering in the static. It's not just a story, it's not a myth, it's beneath me, it's awake. It never left. So rest easy now. Let the winds carry Ravenshollow back into shadow. Forget the spirals, forget the stone. Forget the voice beneath, sleep. But should you hear whispering tonight, do not answer, do not follow, do not return."